What
Not like
movie
in
is
that way. It's Rush Hour.
Oh,
Oh,
mm,
no? When you
no,
go back, you're gonna be like, "I knew that. I knew that."
knew that. All
You're
right,
gonna
so
be
we're
like,
hitting go
"Mhm."
live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. Did I leave somebody out?
I don't think so. We hit all of them. Hey, y'all. Hey.
Let's see. All right, super excited, everyone. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Takeoff.
Hey.
Okay, it's a dime and we fine up in here. All right, so we super excited to be here with you. This is our last episode before winter break, our holiday break. You know, we've been 10 strong. This has been so nice to revitalize. I'm your girl, Bramlin D. Mosby. Okay, I am of Never Unpack. You can find me right now on Instagram at Never Unpack. Never Unpacks or Modern.Day Muse. And I'm here with my lovely co-host who be seeing the world and taking it at the same time. Tell them, girl, what your name is.
Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up? And happy Friday. I am Tia Cooper of Tia Takes the World, Take the World Travel, and the Wonder Code. Those are three different things. So make sure that y'all look them each up, follow, like, comment, all of the things. But as Berlin said, I love to take the world. And we're here because we love to take the world and talk about taking the world with all of you. Yeah.
I love that. Y'all know how it goes on our episode. So we coming here with the social media effect. That's what we're talking about in episode 10. You know how the layout is. Those of you that are just joining, though, my dog, y'all. I'll tune y'all in, okay? To let y'all know. So we like to give you a little inspiration. Then we like to talk about the topic. And then once we
Mhm.
do all of that, we wrap it up. We talk about a little celebrations. And then we talk a little bit about, what's happening next, how you can easily get into the business of travel. And also what we do as travel agents. So we like to share a little bit about the travel industry itself as a consumer. And we also like to talk about how you can make a little money. So we're gonna go
Okay.
ahead and get
Ooh,
started. I'm
yeah.
gonna toss it on over to Miss Tia,
All
Mrs.
right. All
Tia.
right. As Brenlin said, we like to start y'all off with a little bit of motivation. So we have a quote today. Now, this quote, ooh, I like it. It's kind of my first time putting my eyes on it. We go over the show notes, but I like to be surprised. So this one says, social media is not a reflection of reality. It's a projection of possibilities. That's good to me, Brenlin. Talk about that. Talk about that quote.
Listen, it made me be like, ooh, Mufasa. Like that's how I feel when I read it, right?
Ooh.
Because sometimes we look at social media and we take it to be Bible, right? Like that's what the
Mhm.
Kardashians say. They my cousins sometimes, but that's what they say. It's Bible. Like we take it to be the absolute truth. However,
Mhm.
it is what is possible out here in the world. I feel like I scroll social media to look for the next possibilities for me, whether that's in travel or business or what have you. Tia, how do you feel about social media? Do you feel like it reflects your reality? Do you feel like it's a projection of possibilities? Do you feel like it's a little bit of both because you're such an amazing influencer and things?
Thanks, Brian. I definitely feel like it's a little bit of both. I think it is a reflection of reality in the parts of reality that you want to share. And it definitely is a projection of those possibilities because I definitely have pages. I am trying to be intentional about what comes up on my timeline. So I have those pages that I look at and I'm like, oh, if this was possible for you, then it could be possible for me. And I don't take it as Bible because I do know that it's a small glimpse of reality. Although some of the things, like I said, it is reality to some people in some ways. And I know what I share is my reality, but just a small glimpse because you can't get it all right, this is my life to live and I can't give you everything. I need to keep some things to myself. So I really love this quote. But like I said, just a little tweak there that I definitely think that it can be a reflection of reality, just depending on whose reality and what they are showing.
1000%. I agree with that too. Y'all, we love it. So, social media is not a reflection of reality, it's a projection of possibilities. And to be honest, let's be real. How many of y'all have planned a trip because of any influencer? Not just one. Maybe you plan one because of Tia Takes the World. Maybe you plan one because Never Unpacked. Only to be there and only to get there and be like, this is it. This this what y'all sold me. This is the dream y'all sold me, right? And then you be like, where's the magic? Where's the magic
Hmm.
from the real? Which makes us ask, is Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, YouTube, these platforms that we're going live to you today on, Are they ruining real experiences, or is it making us actually better explorers? So we got a little bit of different things we're going to talk about. We got a game that we're going to run in the middle of the episode, but the first topic is the dream they are, and then I put in parentheses, we are selling, because technically we be selling the dream too.
Yeah. I'm selling a little some of the dream.
We selling a little bit of some of the dream. So social media, Tia, has sold us a fantasy, right? We got these breathtaking drone shots, we got sunsets and beautiful places and effortless airport looks. But this fantasy, is it really achievable? What do you think?
I mean, I think that if someone posts it, then it's definitely achievable. I think to the extent sometimes that people post may be a little like, is it achievable in that way? As a quote unquote influencer, I know sometimes the ways that I set up things to show my followers and people who may follow me in the future, the things that I go through to set up that drone shot, that tripod picture shot, whatever it might be. I go through a lot to get that shot. And, I guess part of it might be, like you said, that dream that we're selling. Are we actually selling the fact that I had to set up a tripod? I had to put a timer on my camera. I had to make sure that the lighting was just right. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get this perfect shot. Are we sharing that information? Are we being honest and realistic about it? So, yes, it's possible, but realistic, I don't, I don't know. What you got on that, brand? I feel kind of like a hit dog hollering.
I actually have a little bit more deeper of a question for you, even in this
Okay.
moment. So, like, when we first started off, do you feel like it was intentional that you were actually selling a dream, or were you just sharing with people what you were doing?
Um, I think I wasn't intentionally selling a dream, but I was intentionally sharing the possibilities. So back to the quote that we talked about today. I
Mm,
was intentionally sharing that if I can make this happen, you can too. And not necessarily in the way of this beautifully set picture, but more so
mhm.
in the way of I'm a girl from Gastonia, North Carolina. I never thought that I would be traveling to Dubai. I didn't even know where it was. I never thought that I'd be going to Thailand, to all these places that I read about in history books or saw on movies and in TV. I never thought that I would be there. But now that I am here, guess what? It's super possible. So it wasn't necessarily that I was intentional about selling a dream, but I was intentional and had forethought to share that the possibility of it. When you first started, did you intentionally sell the dream, or what was your intentions when you first started?
It wasn't. I was. It were. There was
Mhm.
no intention to sell a dream. I started. Instagram was relatively new. Like, we were. Well, I'm this much older than Tia, right? So I was the first Facebooker. Like, I remember when Facebook didn't, you could only get on Facebook if you had
Invite.
a college email address, right? So I was literally the first Facebooker. Instagram didn't come until years later. And to be honest, when it showed up, we really didn't know how to utilize it. Like, it was like, so we just supposed to take pictures and we supposed to put it up here. And it kind of, when I moved abroad at that point, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I can show people more of my life without putting a status on Facebook, right?
Right.
So as social media has evolved, so has how I've shared information. So originally, when I moved abroad, I was just showing people, hey guys, I'm 7,000 miles away. Like Tia said, she's from Gastonia. I'm from Lumberton, North Carolina. Both of these are very small towns in the state, the beautiful state of North Carolina. But I was just showing people my life.
Mm.
It wasn't until like a few countries in, I went home and people like, oh my gosh, you're living it's so beautiful. And I was like, girl, I just hopped on a flight. I mean, it wasn't to sell you anything. It wasn't to inspire you. And it probably took another year or so after that to realize,
Mhm.
oh, what I'm doing is inspirational. People look
Mhm.
at, I went to Cappadocia,
Mm.
and people looked at that and they were like, this is like bucket list items. Like, this is,
Yeah.
people don't, they were presenting it to me like, people don't do this. Like,
Mm.
I was like, but I did. And then I
Me.
think from there, and then once, of course, once we got into the travel business, it's absolutely now we're 1000% selling the dream of travel. And not
Mhm.
only just selling the dream of travel, we're telling you how you can make travel your business and
Mhm.
travel and work and free your time and explore those things. And yeah, so for me, I didn't start off selling it, but I can't exactly pinpoint when it became a dream to sell. But
Mhm.
the original venture was always just, hey y'all, this is what I'm doing. I miss y'all. Can you like my
Just
picture?
sharing your experience, right? Sharing what you
Right.
were doing. This is what they told us to do on Facebook. They told us share your status. What are you doing? I feel like that used to be the thing, like in the tagline before you type your status. What are you up to, or what are you doing? So like, this is what I'm doing. I get that. I can see that.
Now, in the midst of the dream that we're selling, do you feel like you're looking at other content creators to see how they're selling their dream and making modifications on how you present yours?
Um, Not necessarily. As a creative, like I try not to. I feel like I heard this. I can't remember what comedian. I want to say it's Eddie Murphy because he's one of my favorites. But I feel like not. I feel like I know that I heard from a comedian once. They said early on when I started influencing that they don't like to consume too much content from like other comedians because they want to stay true and authentic to what it is that they're putting out there. And although I have a compass of why I started doing what I'm doing and I stay true to that, I try not to necessarily consume too much of anybody else's content because I don't want to veer off that path. Now, do I look at other people's content? Does it come up on my page? If I see it, I'll like it, I'll interact, all of these things. Yes, but I definitely don't look at it to like tweak mine, not intentionally. Now, have I seen like different trends from people who share on social media and I'm like, oh, that probably wasn't the best thing to post. And let me make sure I keep at the forefront of me not to do that. Yes, but it's not like I intentionally go looking for it. But Charlemagne says all the time, like, a wise person learns from my mistakes, or I don't want to mess up what he said. I'm gonna figure it out exactly. But he says like a dumb person like learns from, or it takes more time to learn from your mistakes, but it's wiser to learn from somebody else's mistakes. Like if I don't have to make it and I can see that you did it, then that's what I'm gonna try to like follow along with. So to that, yes. What about you? Do you follow other people's like lead, or not necessarily lead, but do you see things that other people put out and kind of tweak yours from that? Or how
I
do you
think
move?
I see content and then I try to make it my own, or I see some things that I think are like, oh,
Mm,
that's really cool for you. Like
okay.
that doesn't really work with me or my brand. But then I see some things like, I want these drone shots. So how I get a drone shot without buying a real
Okay,
drone?
yeah.
I.e.,
For
I found
sure.
a drone that a little play drone, but it get the job drone. It get droney
Listen,
drone. One of my
baby.
friends calls it that. Shout out to Phoebe. She calls it droney drone. But it gets the shot done. It's easy for me to pop up and pop down. And I'm gonna tell
Listen.
y'all, I took it on a trip, and we ain't gonna say no names. That's on another podcast. We ain't gonna say no names, but probably like 3 or 4 people bought the daggone drone while they was sitting there. They was looking for it on the
Oh, I ain't
Amazon.
buy it while I was sitting there, but I definitely went and purchased my pocket drone.
Droney
Hello.
drone. Okay. So yeah, so I think when you're like looking at different people's content, you're like, oh, I like the effect. Not
Mhm.
necessarily,
Mm.
I'm not trying to mimic what you're doing, but I want to take the tool you use to heighten what I'm doing on my end. Because the
Absolutely.
reality is y'all like them drone shots. I don't y'all them videos and you get a little aerial. Y'all like, ooh,
That looks nice.
that's
It's nice.
nice.
Oh, and I just found the quote because I don't like to misquote anybody, and it might not be Charlemagne's actual quote, but I just heard him say it a lot. The quote was, "Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others." And I think that
Ooh, real.
that's deep, especially in this topic that we're talking about in social media effect. Like, and you would think and you would want to learn from the mistakes of these people who are influencing you to go to these places, but as we talked about with the quote, sometimes everybody don't always put out there learnable type things. They put livable type content out, like what you can do, but they don't put learnable type content out. But I'm gonna mind my business.
Mind your beat. Okay, I like it, but no, that's real. I think that's deep. And to your point, being able to see where other people fall short does help you kind of refocus, rebrand, and reposition yourself to make sure you're
Mhm.
putting out in our case is the most authentic thing we can possibly put out. I try my best not to, do I throw on a filter every now and again? Yes, your girl throw on a filter because that sometimes is necessary. Thank you, whoever developed filters. We appreciate you. It might be a little filter
Yeah.
on this video right now, depending on where you tuning in.
Hello, somebody. Tink.
Hello, somebody. Okay. But we just like to make sure, I like to make sure that I'm keeping my content as real as possible. But I also want to make sure that I'm in my niche of
Mm-hmm.
travel. And I don't think people realize, like, as you're looking at all of these influencers and you're looking at places you want to go, you gotta match what you're interested in to the different niche that you see out there. Some people are
Mm-hmm.
travelers specifically for food. Some people are travelers for adventure. Some people are what's really on the rise is sustainable travel. So you'll start
Mm-hmm.
to see a lot of hotels who are like recycling materials and using they're finding ways to reduce their carbon footprint. The science teacher
Mm-hmm.
inside of me there. So you just got to
Reduce,
find your niche.
reuse, recycle.
Yes, reuse, recycle. But yeah, we're just trying to find our niche. So we're gonna slide on into the next topic because y'all know we got a dream out here, and even if we ain't selling it, our goal is at least to inspire, and we hope that you
Mm-hmm.
aspire to. If you are not necessarily one of those people who are, um, you follow us or you follow other people, and you're like you always scrolling and saying, "Oh, that's nice. I wish I could." Do
Mm-hmm.
it. If you don't get
Mm-hmm.
anything else from that episode, do it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
COVID should have taught us one thing. Time is precious and limited, and we don't know what's gonna happen. Okay. The second
Mm-hmm.
coming of somebody. Okay. So make sure you do it now. So we're not just selling a dream, but we're inspiring you to do something a little deeper, a little bit better, and say that and be able to say, "Oh, I did that," and take the picture
Mm-hmm.
and don't post it or not. However you feel, my love.
Whatever you like.
Whatever it is you like. All right. So the rise of FOMO travel tips. So can you tell us what FOMO means? You know FOMO.
FOMO is fear of missing out. I'm so glad I knew what that meant and that I wasn't just now caught out on the spot. I was like, wait, what's what?
It's
Fear of
fine. It's
missing out is FOMO, y'all. Like when you see somebody traveling, you like, dang, I wish I was there or I wish I could go. Like Brenda just said, get up and do it. Nike that, just do it. But that's what FOMO is, fear of missing out.
so do you think we're traveling for memories or are we traveling for the gram in general? And not, I mean, for us, we can take out the business aspect of it. Some of it is business, but me and you are both are we're travelers. That's what we
Hmm.
wanted to do that before this became a business opportunity. We wanted to see the
Yeah,
world,
for
regardless of you
sure.
about to travel or not from us. We'd love for you to buy to travel from us. Don't get me mistaken. But regardless of if you buy to travel or not, we still catching a flight, baby.
Period, Pooh. We're catching that flight. For me, oh wait, the question that you asked was, are we traveling for dream? I mean, for memories
From
or for like Instagram or content?
yeah,
Um, a little column A, column B, as my husband would say, column A, column B. I mean, for me, the memories are in the content. And let's be clear, this word content just came about. Okay. My
mm,
college roommates and people that hung around me when I was in school will tell you, even before then, like when we could take pictures that were not like Polaroid or like you take them and it roll out whatever, you go get them developed down to the Rite
Winn
Aid at
Dixie.
the time, wherever. I was, as soon as I knew that a picture could be taken, a video could be recorded, I was doing it before the word content even came about. Like one of my favorite things to do was to record. Like we had something that's called the spy cam. Ask Mark about it, Brand. He knows. I used to put this little camera up, and I was the first reality TV producer. Okay, I had this spy cam sitting up, and it would just record everything, and then I would make videos like DVDs for my friends. I used to be on Windows Movie Maker. If any of y'all know, back in the day, that's how you put together videos. That was before CapCut,
Fact,
InShot, all of the things. I would be on
fact.
my computer putting these videos together for my friends because it gave me joy. Like I loved putting these pictures and videos and giving it to them for their birthdays or any type of holiday, whatever. That made me happy. So catching the memories has always been something that I love to do. When I first met Trav, he used to kind of be like, you don't want to just enjoy the sunset instead of taking a picture of it. Not those words exactly, but something along those lines. And I'm like, me taking a picture or a video of it is me enjoying it. Don't let me harbor on you. You enjoy it over there from your lens. this lens or this lens, this is me enjoy. Like I get such joy from it. That is what I love. And now, of course, in the age of social media, it is called creating content. So for me, the memories, it's kind of intertwined together. It's a column A, column B. I travel because I want to travel, but the memories are in the content for me itself. Like that's what I love. But like you said, we're only here for a short time. We don't, no man knows the day or the hour, but I do know when my day or hour, when my dash is finished, what I'm gonna
Right.
leave behind is a plethora of content as it is now. I'm gonna leave so many memories for my grandkids, my nieces, my nephews, my friends and family. They will never be able to go without a memory of Tia in her travels. So that's me. What about you? How are you traveling? Which one do
You
you
know,
travel
I think
for?
it's, I want to say, like, I think it's a interesting point that you made, because
Mm-hmm.
even in talking to developing the episode, I don't even think I even considered the fact that content is a very new term. You're right. Like we weren't calling this content. We was just taking pictures, and whether and that and
Recording.
we are the millennials. So we've been
We're the
around when there
bridge.
was not computers everywhere, you guys, when
We are the bridge. We've seen it
everybody didn't
all.
have a cell phone. I think I was talking to my friend and he was like, you were probably like 14 when you probably got your first cell phone. I was like, yeah, you're right. And I was like one of the only people, I ain't had nobody to call. Like we just were in a nice little middle class family. And I was able to have a cell phone that I was able to contact my parents. But you're
You started
right.
playing
We saw
Snake on that Nokia.
yes. So like this episode is so fitting to call it the social media effect, because
Mm-hmm.
before the last 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Dang.
just in perspective, like, yeah, we are older than 20, just in case you thought we were 12. But
I
in
think
the
I know that.
last 20 years, social media has completely changed the game of how we communicate what travel looks like. Before then, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what people were doing. You didn't know what adventures they went on. You didn't know what countries they went to. You just knew Jim and Jan down the street, just they left for 2 weeks and they
You've been
came back
calling.
with
You
the
left a
cars. You saw them
voicemail.
pull out. You saw them pull back in. You like, hey, y'all back from the beach? You didn't know what beach. You didn't. Oh well, we went up north. That's what the Bennettsville, South Carolina folk. Oh, we went up north for the summer. Or the up north folks say, oh yeah, we going down south for the summer. They ain't tell you where they was going. Like
Mm-mm.
and to your point, I've been on pictures. Anybody who knows me, who has ever seen an apartment or a dorm room of mine, there has always been a litany of photos everywhere. And I mean, to the point
Mm-hmm.
where some people were like, this is a little creepy. I was like, well, my mom was in big in pictures. We had pictures all over the house. I don't think it's
Mm-hmm.
creepy. You think these people looking at you? I don't even see these people. Like, these are just my memories. What are we saying? So I've always been about pictures. And then when they gave me a place to actually post them, I was like, oh, this is cool. To your point,
Mm-hmm.
I see the little column A and a little column B, because it's like, oh yeah, I put this on social media for somebody to see,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a favorite memory of mine. And plus I look snatched. Okay. So like this
Period.
too.
Pooh.
But even to that point, we're now also getting um to a movement where people want to see not so polished photos. Like they want to see a
Mm-hmm.
polished version, but they also want to know what the real of it is. Literally, not the
Absolutely.
REEL, but the
The
REAL.
REAL.
Yeah.
You know what?
Um,
That's crazy that you mentioned the polished versus the unpolished. It's kind of a little kind of off script, but that those are the pieces of content that get the most traction for me sometimes. Like those when the trend was going on, and I haven't posted one in a while, but when the trend was going on, Instagram versus reality, people love to see. Like I have one video where I'm out in the desert trying to get me like a snatch shot. I have on a nice little tailored dress. My braids were hitting. Everything was good. Like you said, I like snatched. Y'all, when I took off my shoes to get in that sand, it was so hot. I thought that the soles of my feet was gonna be burnt off. And so I put an Instagram versus reality. You know, Instagram, I'm snatched, but the reality was I was that's how my feet was doing that thing when your mouth be too hot. They were so hot, but I got so many interactions and engagement off of that. And I'm just like, are y'all laughing at my pain? But no, they were just so intrigued by the realness of it, the REAL ness of it. And I love that actually. I love that people are looking for that realness. And hopefully, as we're talking about the social media effect in travel, hopefully more people start going towards the realness of where they're traveling, what happened when they travel there. Yes, it's a beautiful place, but also this is what I had to do to get to it. Like, start sharing those things. That's what people want to know.
The crazy thing, they want to know the real about travel, but they also just want to know the real about you. And I
That's
chuckle to
good.
your point in the on topic off target. I posted a reel this past week by the pound. She makes delicious
Hey,
cakes and desserts, you guys. Like I always say, her food tastes like somebody grandma with that little bit of extra fat over the elbow in the kitchen. Like
yes,
her
Miss
food is
Ann.
amazing. She makes
Mm.
this peach cobbler pound cake, super delicious. I had it at Friendsgiving. I bought a whole cake. This is a whole ad for her. I'm gonna make sure I give her this clip to use somewhere. Okay. I bought one after Friendsgiving. Just I live by myself. I didn't need a whole cake, but I felt like I wanted to fry a piece of pound cake, y'all. Like I said, let me just throw one on the skillet. Like so I sliced up a piece of pound cake. I put it on the skillet with some butter. I browned it on both sides, added some scoops of ice cream, cover that joint and caramel. And my voiceover is literally like, and this is why I can't unbig my back. And y'all like that post way more than my travel stuff. Like I was like, what is happening? They like my
Because
unbig back.
everybody can relate to not wanting to unbig your back. I ate
But
a half
they
a
can't relate
little
to
pint of ice
turkey.
cream the other day. Everybody can relate to not wanting to unbig your back sometimes. Every day is
Uh,
not a unbiggable back day, okay? Every day is not an unbiggable back
I
day,
am
and
trying
people
to
can
make my
relate to
back
that.
look small in the photo for the destination, and I get 5 likes over there and get 100 likes over here for an unbig back
Listen,
fried piece of pound cake. Like it
that you
is
didn't
hilarious.
share. That's why
The
I folded my
level
arms because you did not share, and you could have. Oh, okay.
we're not gonna talk
All
about
right.
it. We in
I
front
just
of
had to throw
people.
that in there because I
We
like my back to be big over some pound cake just one
we in
day.
front of
I'm
people.
just saying.
We're not gonna do this in front of guests, are we?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, edit that out. Oh, this is live. My bad. shout out to shout out to Brittany, but cake by the pound, baby.
We love it. Okay, so anyway, just saying, you guys love the real of it all. We love the real of it all too, and we're talking about the REAL of it. So we actually gave an opportunity to kind of chime in from our followers on the topic of what is the most overhyped destination you've been to because of social media. And so some of you chimed in, and I think one of yeah, he was here. So yeah, some of you chimed in. Really good conversation. One of the first names that went out was Phuket. Um, they said the Phi Phi Islands. There's some other beautiful islands, but the one that you see
Mhm.
the most is Phuket. That's the one they
Mhm.
call it James Bond Island. I think maybe
Mhm.
it was filmed in that area, so a lot of people go there.
Mhm.
Have you been to Phuket?
I have. I love Phuket, specifically Bangla Road. If you like that type of thing, Bangla Road is
Ooh,
it.
let me look
Not
social
necessarily
media.
for the island, but for the
Angler
if you
Road.
like a good
Is
turn
that
up.
road ORAD?
Yes, Bangla Road.
Okay. Gotta look that one up. Someone else threw in Miami, and I chuckled when I saw Miami.
Mm.
When I was a young tenderoni, Miami was the spot. Like College
Listen,
Street, like Miami was the move and the vibe. That's where we went for spring break. Now y'all college
girl.
students are
Okay,
rich.
shout out to Next Level. So I saw Darren Brand was on the Instagram. I don't know if he's still on live, but shout out to Next Level. Y'all can't tell me nothing about Miami. I haven't been since spring break in cat days, but Next Level put me on. Okay,
Let me tell
I,
you
I don't
how
have
long
nothing
I've been
bad to say.
traveling with Next Level. So Next Level there are brothers from North Carolina A&T. So Aggie pride to them.
Aggie
I was on
Pride.
the very first Next Level spring break trip to Miami.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
I also vowed never to take a bus down to
girl.
Miami ever again in
Why did we
life.
take a bus from North Carolina to
It sounded good.
Miami?
It was the cheapest option because we was
And it
broke
was
college
good.
students. These college students ain't broke. I don't know
This
where
you
y'all getting
correct.
money from, but y'all moving something. And it ain't booked.
You are absolutely correct. It was the cheapest option, and you know what? It was bonding times. At the time, I
It
don't
was the
think I
best.
thought anything else about it. I didn't think about
It was the
getting a
best.
flight. I didn't think about driving my own car. That bus, that charter bus, Next Level. Shout out to you for
It was the
sparking
best.
some of
And I
those
learned
travel dreams.
Fun fact, you should always learn something about yourself when you travel. And that was when I learned I will never get on a bus longer than 5 hours ever again in life. And I really don't want to do five. I usually, my max is about 3.5. If I got to get on a bus, it ain't going to be for 5 hours. If it's longer than
Mhm.
3.5 hours, outside of going from Greensboro to Atlanta, because that's about the only 5 hour drive I'm interested in doing, or Greensboro to DC, those are the only stretches I do. Outside of that, I'm probably hopping on a plane. And if I can't afford to hop
Okay,
on a plane,
period.
I'll catch you on the Instagram. Show me your stories. I'll keep up that way. Okay. Miami used to be the vibe, but these people said nope, overhyped. It wasn't what it was. What? I was down there getting it. Okay. Tulum. I actually haven't been to Tulum. You've been to Tulum? Overhyped
Mm-mm.
destination or
I haven't been there yet. I was
hype or
supposed to
no?
go this summer, but I haven't been there yet. So that kind of,
Oh,
I
that's
mean, it
right.
didn't
Okay, I'm
disappoint me that
sorry.
bad. I'm
Too
still going.
soon. Okay. Montego Bay. I liked Montego Bay.
Mm,
Overhyped.
uh,
It was a trip.
I mean, it
So
was
maybe that's
okay
what
for
they mean
me.
by overhyped.
I didn't stay like as a actual tourist like I do in other places. I went on a cruise, so it was like in and out. So I can't necessarily. I mean, it was cool for me for what I went for.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one that came from our followers was Medellin, Colombia. And if y'all saw how I wrote this in the script to make sure I said Medellin right, y'all would highly have a kiki right now. But Medellin, Colombia, I actually haven't been there either. You just recently went, right? Medellin this past summer?
No, I didn't go to Medellin. I went to Cartagena.
No, I got your
Somebody's
whole. You went to Colombia though, right?
I did. I was in Colombia. I was in the place,
Okay,
but I was not in Medellin. And somebody was
okay,
laughing at me the way I said Cartagena. That's what they told me to say. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't Cartagena, whichever one. But no, it was
Cartagena,
beautiful there, and I do
Cartagena.
want to go back to Medellin at some point, but I haven't been yet. So, but Cartagena, A1. I loved it.
Good. Okay, so y'all, we talked about the ones you've done. I wanted to give us an opportunity to talk about the ones we've done. And so I have a game, and the game is called, let me make sure I got it right here. It's going to be Travel Tales, Hype or Nah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Travel Tales, Hype or Nah. Now, I actually have a little bit of a surprise for Tia because the game is going to be more Tia focused than me. So it's going to be a little funny here because y'all can't see her face because I have something on the screen. So she's not prepared.
Absolutely
But
not. Had no idea about
he-
this.
here we go. So Travel Tales. So what I did, Tia, I pulled up some of your travel places, and we want to know, are these places hype or nah? Or did you really do this for the gram? You selling the dream? Like, what's happening to you? What's happening? Look at the response. I love it. I love it. So we're
Okay,
gonna
let's
start
do it.
here. Aya Napa, Cyprus. I was actually on this trip, so I'm interested to hear what she has to say. Is this
It
hype?
was hype. It was
Now,
hype.
Tia,
I think for me.
you made this beach look better than what the beach was. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Okay, you didn't say specifically the beach. I mean, now listen, the beach that we went to definitely looks a lot better on people's Instagram than it did when we showed up. I don't know if they changed the aesthetic because they knew we was coming or what, but and you know what? Actually, Brand, I will say this: the water's so blue, as Beyonce says, at the top of that cliff. It's a cliff out there, and it's like the beach is on the beach side, and then you have like this kind of island that's off that you can walk to, and there's a cliff, and the water looks so blue from the top. But as Brandon said, it might be a little bit more overhyped. But Ayanapa itself, I had such a great time. I don't know if it was because of the people that we were with. We had like a villa that was exclusive to us. We had a private chef and we played games. We hung out. Sometimes we slept in. It was just such a fun experience for me. I actually want to go back to like do the four-wheelers around town and stuff. Like it was some things that I didn't get to do that I would like to, but Ayanapa was good. I like Cyprus or Cyprus,
Okay,
as some
so
people pronounce
so just so we can be sure, overall in Cyprus, hype or not?
hype.
Hype.
Absolutely hype.
This
Yes.
particular beach moment, hype or not in Cyprus?
It was hype. It was hype. You say the aesthetics wasn't there, but we had a good time. We did the little tubing thing. Overall,
Okay.
I would give it a 7 out of 10. So if it's over 5, then I'm gonna
Overall.
put it in the hype. Yeah, overall hype. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right,
What
here's the
about
next
you?
one.
Hold on, you were there. Apparently you say no.
Oh yeah, I think the beach was lacking. I've been to way better beaches in life. The overall trip, I think the people made the trip what
Mhm.
the trip was. And
Okay.
for that reason, because of group travel, I would say it was hype.
Okay,
But
bet.
like I think if I were a traveler, an unknowing traveler, and I'm looking for this particular view that you gave in this picture, I would probably be like, I would try to go recreate it and I would be like, where is this?
I sold a dream.
You
Oops.
sold the dream. I mean, it's a
Oop,
good
oop.
one. It's a good one. You got to know your angles, honey. Baby girl knows her angles. And I can't wait before we go to. I got more pictures. She is shocked. Let me tell y'all, this is the real on
Gagged.
the real for real. All right, here's the next one. Paris rant. So let's talk about Paris overall. This is a good
Okay.
picture. This is
It
a
is
good
a nice
picture. Paris
picture.
overall, hype or no?
Okay, can I be honest about this game? All of my overalls are gonna be hype because, as we have said, or as I've said on shows before, Grace hate to see me coming. I can find the good in any situation, anybody, all of the time. So overall, for me, because of my experience, I think we talked about this previously on the show. I tried to go to Paris before I got deported because I had an emergency passport. Long story short, they wouldn't let me in. So to get here, to get to this moment, I was hype about it. So regardless, I think a lot of people say like Paris for them is like, because they say the people's attitudes and like it is true when you go, a lot of people don't speak English. And even if they can speak English because you are coming in as an American, they're kind of like, I don't care. You need to speak
Mhm.
French. So that part, I didn't have it too much, but overall it was hype. I just wanted to put that little caveat in there because there are reasons to things, but overall it was hype for me.
Overall hype for you. Was the Louvre
Yes.
hype for you in Paris?
I
The
have never
Louvre.
been inside of the Paris Louvre.
So you took this picture, but you didn't.
It's outside. Well, I can't take a picture outside.
No, no, you can. I just find it funny
And in
because
my caption, I don't think I mentioned nothing about them pictures inside that Louvre or nothing. I have never been inside. This is outside.
you did. Okay, so I love Paris, so I'm a little biased about Paris. Paris is one of my
Okay.
favorite international cities.
Oh, I
A
didn't
lot
know
of
that.
people, yeah, it's my favorite. I'll stop in Paris. Paris is always a good idea. I kind of feel like Coco Chanel. Paris is always a good idea. Like champagne. Champagne's always a good idea. So I
Always.
love Paris. But a lot of people would say that Paris is overhyped for sure.
Mhm.
They say it stinks. It doesn't have that glamour. Paris to me reminds me a little bit of Hollywood, like in California, Los Angeles, California. It reminds
Mm.
me of Hollywood, where
Mhm.
it's been used and abused because people hype it up so much, but
Mm.
it still glistens and sparkles if you look in the right place. Like you just need to know
Okay.
where to look. Unlike Tia, I actually have been inside the Louvre. I've been in the Louvre in Paris. I've also been in the Louvre in Abu Dhabi. The Louvre in Paris is way more dynamic than the one in Abu Dhabi, but the Abu Dhabi building architecture is absolutely gorgeous. Why
Absolutely.
should you go into the Louvre? The Louvre has the Mona Lisa. However, I would absolutely say the Mona Lisa is a very overhyped, overhyped experience in Paris. So
Okay.
that's my take on here. All right, so we got more pictures. Let's keep moving.
Oh, wait 1 second, Brand.
Um,
Someone on Instagram about Paris, Sexy Megan said, I absolutely love Paris and found so many people were helpful with the language barriers. So that's one of the first times I've ever heard anybody say great positive things about Paris and that language barrier. Everything I hear is like, no English, no Inglese, nothing. So that was definitely a point that I wanted to highlight. Positive experiences. Thank you, Sexy Megan.
yeah, all right, honey. Okay, Paris, we own it, we love it. What's your vote? Oh, the other thing I would say in Paris that's overhyped is Moulin Rouge. Um, a lot of people don't
Mm,
necessarily, when I recommend Paris, I don't necessarily, unless you're the type of person that just wants to experience those things, I
mhm.
wouldn't recommend the show, but I definitely recommend going down there to get a picture outside of the building if you want a moment. But
Oh, a
here
picture
that
outside the
takes
building.
here that I've done both. Fun fact, I've been inside and I take the picture outside. This is where we're also saying where social media could be possibly ruining travel because people are taking pictures in front of things. No shade here to Tia. I love Tia. No shade, Tia. This is no tea, no
It's
shade.
okay.
But other social media people do take pictures in front of places and they're selling it. They're not selling the fact that they just went to Paris. They're selling the fact that this is the experience and they've never experienced it. I
What?
don't think you're
But
selling the experience here of the Louvre. I think you're selling that I went to Paris and I'm
mm-hmm.
Parisian. And this is what we
Because I had my
bonjour.
little beret.
Yes, this is giving
Okay.
we bonjour. This is what I got from this. Yes.
Okay. So when you're talking about that, are these people making their comments saying that it's centered around like, oh, like, are they making comments about the Louvre? Are there caption about these places
I
that
feel
they
like
didn't
a
go
lot
to?
of
People
people,
do that?
yes, I feel like people be like the Louvre in Paris, blah, 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 blah. They go and they Google the Wikipedia facts and then they put it in their caption. Like they've
You
been
know,
inside or been to it. And like, I think I can't even remember what your caption said for this picture, but I don't think you even
I know
referenced
it
the
ain't say
fact
nothing
that,
about the Louvre.
right. I think it was just like, girl, I'm in Paris, y'all. Hey, y'all, we
Catch this.
bonjour.
Okay.
All right, next picture. She's having fun with this. I'm so glad. I was a little nervous, y'all. She hasn't seen any of these pictures. She did not vet anything. This is in Maurice, Georgia.
Okay.
Fun fact, how did you end up on this trip?
I was about to say this was an influence trip. I saw
This
your
was
things from social media and I said,
I saw
oh
my
B,
things from somebody else on social media. So we all went
oh
to
B and B.
Georgia to get this shot, literally. The social media
Yeah.
effects of it all. Do you feel
And
like this was hyped or not?
it was hype. Like
Mhm.
Grace is my friend, but
No,
to
I
be
agree.
truthfully honest, it was so hype. Now getting there, and I think I probably shared
Right.
this. I'm not sure if it was on this picture or in somewhere else, and I got to make sure that I shared that. If I didn't, but getting there was something. Like we had to go up a windy mountain that the car didn't almost fit on, and if it was another car coming down the mountain, then they also wasn't supposed to fit on that piece of mountain. And I feel like if I looked over too much, if I leaned too far this side, then the car might tip over. That was an experience. But for me, those things are hype about getting to this picture, this moment. Like when I see this, I think about those things, or I think about the fact that uh I don't know what to call it, not Airbnb, the cabin that we were on overlooked a mountain. Like again, if I looked out that window right there, I literally was
Like a
like
ledge.
that is hype for me. I have all of these memories
Oh,
now and I love it. Like that's what I was talking about earlier with the memories and the content. I look at this picture and I'm like, I want to go back. So hype for me, for sure. What about you? Because you've been there before.
So for me, this was an extremely hype experience. It's a cabin in the middle of a mountain on top of a cliff. It's so cool
Hmm.
to me. Like they had to put our luggage on like a zip line to even get it down to the actual cabin itself.
They
We were
did.
underprepared because there was the heat was fire logs, and so we fell asleep and the logs burned out, so we were freezing by the time we woke up. But amazing experience. But I 1000% agree with you. Some people see this picture and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, I want to go to Georgia. And I'm pretty sure I told Tia, even when she saw it from me, I said, listen, the shot
Hmm.
is amazing, but getting there is something that's a whole nother monkey. The travel
Hmm.
to get here is a nah. It's not hyped it's not hyped about it. We traveled, almost had to travel about 6 hours by train
By
to
train.
actually get to a place to where we could get in a car and then travel another 2 hours up the mountain. So a total of 8 hours to get this shot. So a lot of people, this is where the social media, we're talking social media effect, right? You want to
Hmm.
get the shot because you want to get this beauty, you want to be in this beauty. And it's beautiful when you get there, but there's a
So
sacrifice
worth it.
that happens.
Yeah.
And
It's not
sometimes
somewhere
that's
you
not
just go
always.
to for one day if you fly into Tbilisi. It's you don't just and this is Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, y'all. This is not the state of Georgia
Not them
because
Georgia peaches. We love y'all, but
not Georgia
this
peaches.
ain't no
Yeah, this is not that Georgia, the
that
Republic of
state that
Georgia.
keep
So if
turning the
you
color
go
that we keep looking at y'all sideways. We about to do y'all like Florida. I'm just saying. Anyway,
but you,
whole
you
nother
definitely don't
podcast.
go there for one day. You go there for a couple of days because of the journey that you have to take to get there. But as you were talking about it, Brandon, as I'm thinking about the influence that I got from you and then the information I got from you, when we're talking about the social media effect, is it and well, it depends. I guess it depends if you're trying to be an influencer or if you're just sharing your travel experiences. Is it your job to give all of those intricate details? And if you don't, then like whose fault is it if somebody gets there and is like, now wait a minute, I didn't realize I had to get in this car, go up this mountain, put my luggage on a zip line, sleep in a cabin that was only heated by logs. Like, is that then the person who posted about it fault? Like, are you upset with them? Are you upset with yourself for not doing proper research? If the research is not out there, what does that then look like?
Actually, that's part of one of the things I think one of the tips we were given in talking about
Okay.
mastering social media planning today is
Hmm.
that it's your job to do research. And I know that's a heavy topic for us just because of some things we've been experiencing lately. So we're gonna hold that one.
Okay, we'll
But
hold it.
you just
Hold my
it's your
mule.
job to you're right. It's your job to once you see it, you need to flesh it out so you're not shocked
Hmm.
and surprised. Like I
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure Tia does the same thing. I think because me and Tia are friends and she saw it on my social media, I gave her the low down and dirty. I also anybody who asked me about this trip, I gave them the low down and dirty. I also said the
Hmm.
same thing Tia said. I said, listen, I wouldn't travel 8 hours and go up there for a night because you got to get up so early to leave the next morning. So you need to maximize your time there. And so I told her the
Absolutely.
same tip, which we give those out. Now the thing is, y'all attention span is short. No shade, right? So my caption can't be but so long, like, cause y'all
True.
be y'all be swiping, girl. Y'all be moving through the
Hmm.
timeline. Like, I gotta engage you, and then I can give you the
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah.
Okay. More pictures. We got more pictures. More pictures to come of Tia taking the world. All right. Cairo, Egypt, hyper nah.
Hype. This was my second time going there. It was absolutely hype. Super hype.
This is a beautiful super. We're gonna keep
Thank
it
you.
moving in. That I
Okay, it was
agree.
hype. That
Egypt,
was it.
Egypt is the motherland. You should go. All
Yeah.
right. So birth of civilization. Okay, I can never pronounce this city's name. It's in Morocco. It's the blue city.
Chef Shawin, if you real
Chef
proper.
Chefy. Okay.
Chef. Hmm.
Truth, shame the devil now.
I will say that without the photographer, which is not a real photographer, which was a guy that was like, "You look like you need somebody to take your pictures. I'll do it for a nominal fee." Without him, it wouldn't have been. It would have been a nah. But because of things like this, it was hype. I will say that the history definitely. I didn't expect the history to be what it was about the small town, and our guide definitely clued us into history of Chef Shawin, and it was interesting. To people that are watching on TikTok, they can't see these pictures. I just realized, so y'all have to catch the replay. But it's the Blue City, pretty much. If you don't know what Chef Shawin is, it's the Blue City in Morocco. Absolutely beautiful, but it does not look like this heavily edited picture. The blues are contrasted, they're turned up. The yellow in the dress that I'm wearing is definitely not that yellow and was really wrinkled. Actually, I had to smooth it out. So it was hype to get this shot. It was nah because it was a little underwhelming because I think the social media that I saw to get there made me think that the city was bright blue and the colors
Mhm.
popped and all of these things. But I still enjoyed it a lot, but it's not the hype that you see from photos. They were actually painting it when we walked through. Like they have to paint over the city a lot because those blues fade just because of weather and time. But for me, the experience was very nice, but the hype that you think that you're gonna get from social media, no, is mm-mm. Yeah. Like I said, my
Yeah.
dress was wrinkled. The blues wasn't this blue. At first, I was getting Travis to take pictures, and we had got up early that day, and he wasn't taking the pictures like I needed him to take them. And this one guy came around and was looking like, "You look like you could use a photographer," and I was like, "I could." And Travis and Ken had went to go eat somewhere. I said, I'm just go off with this strange man who's gonna take my phone and take me into the Blue City to take some pictures. And they let me go. And me and this man went off for like 30, 45 minutes, and he got the best pictures that I've ever seen of pictures in my whole entire life. And that changed it for me. So, but y'all know I love memories and content. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is a little bit more of a nah. No worries.
No, yeah.
Because of the colors.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Sheffy.
I heard that too. Budapest, and those are my Marvel fans. She still don't know what happened in Budapest between Black Widow and oh boy. But Budapest, Hungary,
You just gonna call me out like that? Dang. I love Marvel,
with the
but
Marvel
I okay.
people.
Yeah, I love
No, the
Marvel.
Marvel people. No, I'm talking about,
Oh,
you remember
them.
they always be talking about Budapest, that whatever happened in Budapest, and we really still don't know what happened in
Oh, okay.
Budapest.
I was about to say don't call me. I don't know. I don't know, but I do love Marvel. So FYI.
Yes. Not that one about
Budapest.
you.
Uh,
Hype or not? It looks
Definitely,
hype.
this was hype. This was hype. The thermal baths, this was hype. I really enjoyed it. It was so cold outside, y'all, and y'all see I got on a bathing suit and a toboggan. A toboggan. For those of you out there, that's the scully that y'all like to call it. But it was super cold, but that water was so warm and the steam coming. I just have never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. So to experience that out in the open, it was definitely hype. The rest of Budapest, it was cute, but this experience itself was hype, the thermal baths. So I definitely go and check it out. The picture looked cute, but the experience of the thermal bath was hype for sure.
Okay, here's another one. Quintana Roo, Mexico. This was her first time going to Mexico, you guys.
It
Look
was
at her
my
face.
first
I did good on this
time.
episode. She's gonna give me kudos later.
You did. I had no idea, guys. Yes, the first time I have always said that Mexico is my favorite country that I've never been to. This was before, obviously, I've been to Mexico. Now I've been twice. But it was an absolute amazing experience. Obviously, I said I do to my hubby, and we brought 100 people out to our wedding, which I think not more than the wedding. The wedding was amazing, but bringing all of those people that half of them had never even traveled outside the US, half of that had never traveled outside of North Carolina. That warmed my heart because this is why I do travel like I do, because I want to bring other people into the experience. So it was absolutely amazing. Mexico is hype. Every place that I've been, every time that I've been, it's been amazing. And it actually, this is what kind of set in motion. Um, I think like really going into starting my travel business. I had been
Mm.
thinking about it and I had started it before, but then I was like, this not for me. But seeing the way that my travel agent, he set up the like hotels and flights for people, but I set up activities and things. I'm like, I can do this. And I know how much he got paid. So I was like, I definitely can do this. And it just kind of set in motion a domino effect of things. So
That's
yeah,
real good.
hype, super
Mm.
hype.
Hype,
Love
super
Mexico.
hype. Haven't been to Mexico, super hype. I get it. All right,
Really?
here's the one. I haven't. Hanoi, Vietnam. Now, let's talk about this particular space. Is this a hype area or not? Because when I was out, I'm up now. I'm putting her out there. I saw a whole reel that was associated with this. I also have heard other people travel there. So, what are your thoughts? Hype or not for this incense flower garden?
Here comes Grace. And someone on TikTok said, I think you guys just make lemons out of lemonade, which is gonna be the preface of what I'm gonna say. This place will be super underwhelming for the normal person. It's a nah. It wouldn't be hype for the normal person. For me, it was hype again because I love memories and content. And this picture came out like it did. Beautiful. Again, it's an edited picture, but it came out. I snapped on this picture. But it will be underwhelming because basically it's just an area where people work putting incense together to sell. That's literally it. That's all they're doing is bunching up incense to sell to people. For me, it was enjoyable and hype because who does that? Who has an incense farm? Have you ever even heard of that before? Like,
Never,
what?
never knew
It
until
was
I saw the picture.
right. Like people think like I mean, because essentially you put like it's a flower garden or whatever. It looks like flowers, kind of unless you zoom in with your eyes. But I thought that that was so cool that these people are out here that this is their job. So for me, it was a different experience, which hyped it up more. And like I said, the shots of the photos was really cool. But for the normal person, if you're going to Hanoi and you want an amazing experience, this probably wouldn't be for you, honestly, because you have to drive to get there. It wouldn't. So
And then the
yeah.
incense, I heard they don't. It doesn't have any smell or anything yet. It just is color.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's the color. I think they put the sprays on them, but they're not like burning them out there because you can buy them from the people that are there. But I ain't go there to smell no incense.
We went there for the photo op. I think, just to point this out, because when we're talking about the social media effect and the
Mhm,
question that was arising in the episode is social media ruining our travel experiences. To our point, you do need to do a level of research, but also you need to figure out why you're going. For me, and what it sounds like for Tia, we find thrills in capturing the shot. And that's not even just to sell you the travel. That's just because I want a beautiful memory from when I traveled to this place. Like, so I think that's something to keep in mind. So some things for
mhm,
us are very hype because we like going down the unbeaten path and getting beautiful photos that look like this. And
mhm,
for somebody else, because of what it would take to get there, and then what actually happens when you get there, you would then mark this as a nah for you.
mhm.
So that's just important to kind of keep in mind, which is what
Yeah.
makes the game fun, right? Okay, last one of you. This is in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi,
Okay.
UAE, hype or nah?
I mean,
Abu
I
Dhabi is different from Dubai, you guys. It's not the same.
Dubai is not a country. The
It's
UAE is
not.
the country that houses both Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Just fun facts for those who didn't know, just cluing you in. Is this a
Yeah.
serious question? Is this
I
about the
mean, I,
picture or the place?
I felt like I knew what your answer was going to be. I was pretty sure you were leaning with hype. Like this was home.
I mean, Abu Dhabi as a place, yeah, hype. The desert depends on the day and what you're going for. This one I specifically went to get photos, so it was cute. Actually, this day was a nah day. Like this picture came out cute, but this day was a super nah day. Like, yeah,
I love
mm-mm,
the real of
mm-mm.
it. Okay,
Yeah, I
so I
was sweating
added
in crazy places.
in crazy places. Oh no. So I just added two more pictures because I wanted to just chime in on the hyper nah. This is
Okay,
two of mine.
okay,
This was a nah for me. This is in Athens, Greece. The picture
okay.
came out decent. I love the picture, the look. It's so much walking, it's people everywhere.
Oh,
It was I think to Tia's point, I would give Athens grace because it's I would give Athens, Greece grace. I meant that. But I was a bit underwhelmed, and it was literally too many people. It was just people everywhere.
mm-hmm.
So I would say nah. The shot came out amazing. And I think I had to blur some people out in the background because you could not get a clear shot
Oh,
in
you
that place
did
for nothing.
good.
Well, thank you. This was my early days of blurring before they gave us real tools to work with. So
AI.
yeah. And then I would say this is a hype experience for me. This is a spa in Ubud, which is in Bali, Indonesia. I don't know if I did that. Those people that can see the actual screen, give me grace for if I didn't put Indonesia in the right place. I wasn't sure if Bali comes first or Indonesia. All of that to
You're
say,
all right.
anyway, this
You
was
know your
actually a
chances.
very hype experience. And I say this because so I went to Bali. This was my second time going to Bali. I did not do the spa the first time. This flower bath is an Instagram thing. Like it's all over social media. It came across my timeline and I added it to our trip. And
Mhm.
literally, I was looking at the girl's page. I was looking at how she was posing. I went and found the spa. Like I did a deep dive in order to get this shot, this picture, and which is also why I chose it for the episode because I literally used social media to figure this out. And it was absolutely hype for anybody who's
Mhm.
interested in a beautiful massage, a hot bath with real floral flowers. They said they use
Mm.
about 5 kg of flowers. That's a lot of flowers. I can't remember
That is
how
a
many
lot of
pounds 5 kg
flowers.
is. That's a lot of pounds of flowers.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it was a beautiful massage. The tea was
Mhm.
amazing. The oil smelled great. The scrub
Oh.
was amazing. The lady just
I
wiped
wanna
me
go back
down.
to Bali now.
Listen, social media, you did your thing with this one.
And
And
you
this
doing
is
it
a very
now.
yeah, this is a particular spot. Like there's multiple flower bath places, but this one, 5 stars on Yelp. Okay. That's how I
Mhm.
feel. All right, so we're gonna get out of this game. I hope you guys really enjoyed our travel tales. Hyper nah, we're gonna ease back into the back part of the episode and just kind of move back into. Thank you, Tia, for participating and giving me
Thank you for
a
that
little
game,
grace.
Bran. It was good. I loved it
Yeah,
so much. It was
let's
good.
switch this around. I was moving real fast. Those of you that are keeping up with us, so Okay, so the back half of our episode was just going to talk about the gatekeeping effect. So we can talk briefly about that, and then we'll move into our social media travel planning tips.
Mhm.
So when we talk about the gatekeeping effect, Tia, we're talking about have you ever found yourself like gatekeeping a destination, like you don't talk about it in advance, you're not telling other people about it, you want to explore it first and then you post it? Like, how do you operate in that regard?
Um, I kinda talk too much to gatekeep. I can't I pre Trust be
Me
looking at me
too.
sometimes
I be
like
wanting to
I'll
tell it
be like,
all.
"Ooh, that was my bad, I wasn't supposed to say that, okay." I for me, gatekeeping is not a thing, so, like, if you find out about it and you go before I do, it ain't gon one bucket don't stop no show, you're not stopping anything that I'm doing, so, not necessar like, no, no, that I don't think I've ever done that. Have you gate kept a destination? I mean, no judgment to anybody that does,
We
I talk
listen
too
and we
much.
don't judge. That's we've been doing that. Like, no, I'm to your point, I talk too much. And the other thing I also have learned, like I feel like I don't gatekeep, but I also feel
Mhm.
like I travel to places where people don't want to go to. I
Mm.
am typically a cold weather traveler. I like fall,
Mhm.
I like winter, and that's because I spent extensive time in the desert heat. So usually
Mm.
like when you've lived in the desert and you lived in a place where beaches that are beautiful are at your fingertips and
Mhm.
yacht rides are easily accessible, like I
Yeah.
find myself or I found myself traveling to cold places. And a lot of times I won't put a race on it. I just feel like a lot of times people find themselves wanting to do beach travel, hot weather items. And so I tell
Mhm.
people about what I'm doing, but nobody be wanting to go until I post a picture in Georgia and now I'm hanging off a cliff and they're like, "Oh, well, can I be a snow bunny for a weekend?" Or I was gonna
Not a
pick some other
snowflake for a
pictures, but
weekend.
yeah, y'all should have Tia was snatched in Georgia. Okay. She had her whole ski bunny outfit
Shout out
on.
to
It was
Braylon
hot
for
pink.
the social media effect, cause baby, that's where I went. When I saw Braylon stuff, I said, "I got to go there." So, shout out to you, Brand. Social
Relatively
media
cheap
effect
place to go
wins.
to.
It
Oh,
was from the Middle East.
so here's another question. So we don't gatekeep because clearly we talk too much. That's how we ended up on a podcast where we be talking, y'all. So okay, we don't gatekeep. Other people be gatekeeping. I feel like you look up and they don't tell you nothing about where they going, and they be
At
like
all.
they ain't. And then they be stingy with the details. I can't stand a social media person who's stingy with the details.
Don't,
How did you get this
get out of
shot?
here.
And where did you go? And how long it take to get here? And how
And who
much
was
this
your
cost?
photographer? Did you have a tripod?
Exactly. Y'all
Did
tag
you
your
hire somebody?
photographers. We want to support their business. Stop playing with us. Let
Girl,
everybody can eat.
they don't want
We
nobody.
I'm
They want
laughing,
people to
but we
starve out
serious.
here.
Listen, I am serious. So listen. Ooh, all USA cities are overhyped. That is hilarious.
Mhm. This is coming
Hilarious.
from Instagram, all of them, every one of them. Listen, I'm not gonna disagree. Um,
Not
I'm not.
disagreeing.
I'm not
Well,
disagreeing.
my Instagram folks said I think Paris was a 6 out of 10. That's what I usually get from people who don't like Paris.
But
But
you
I hear
do.
you on the USA cities. There's a couple that I've gone to that I think are pretty amazing.
US cities?
Yeah, I
N
mean, I've
Give us
traveled in
one.
the US. I love LA. LA is like I feel like what was that girl's name who was on the Bad Girls Club? Like I run LA. I love
Oh,
LA.
Natalie
Like
Nunn.
yes, I love LA.
Mhm.
Like I don't run it, but I love it. But LA
I've
is like
never
my favorite other place.
been.
Really,
I've
I
never
love LA.
been.
It's just so many
I
food
haven't been to a
options.
lot of US states
Food.
though. That's uh, yeah.
Mm. I
Yeah.
like a good US, but I love a good international, honey. Honey,
Absolutely. For
me up.
sure,
Get me
for
to
sure.
somebody else country. Um, okay, so here's another question because we on gatekeep. Are you a trendy traveler? Like, do you find yourself doing whatever trend is out in your travel?
Um
Or how do you choose your destinations too? And that may not
At
be
this point, I like to choose I try, but sometimes I just like to revisit places. But at this point, one of my goals, y'all, here go me talking again, is that I want to be there's only a very select few Black women who have traveled to every inhabitable or travelable country in the world. I want to be amongst the top 10. There are 10 haven't been recorded yet. So at this point, I'm trying to just go to countries that I haven't been to before. If it pops up on Instagram and I haven't been there, awesome. But if not, it's a list that I'm trying to check off, and that's every country. So um do I go to trendy places? I mean, if they pop up and I haven't been there, then yeah, let's go and check it out. Like for instance, one of them that I haven't been to is Japan, and I'm absolutely going there so that I can Mario Kart in the streets. I know it's not called Mario Kart there, but I want to drive those cars in the street. Is it because it's trendy? Yes. Is it because I love Mario Kart? Kinda, but I want to do it because it looks cool. So not
I'll go
all
back
of
with
them are
you. I
like
didn't do
that.
Mario Karts when I went.
Why?
It just didn't
You
fit
didn't
my
want
schedule.
it
You know,
wasn't.
when
Oh, the
I went to
schedule.
Japan, I went by myself.
Mm.
So I kind of maximized some other more solo friendly options.
Yeah, that's
I
a
low key kind of feel like I want a Mario Kart with people.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know.
That's a friend group activity type thing.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy
So I
throwing some
redid
banana
some.
peels.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that part. But no, I would love to go back and do Japan is on my list. But to answer the question, even for myself, I don't think I'm trendy, but I do
Mhm.
think I travel to where I want to travel when I want to travel there. And I
Mm.
learned very early on that I should travel to where I want to and not necessarily where the group wants to travel, because I just feel like life is too short to just be following people around the world. Like, if you
Listen.
don't want to go where I'm going, like, case in point, one place that I've been that people always go back and look at my pictures and they're like, oh, this is amazing. I stayed in a glass igloo in Finland. And it was early on when I first moved to the UAE. And I remember messaging a whole bunch of people like, hey, do you want to go? And people were like, yeah, it's cold. Like, oh, okay. You don't want to stay in a
In
glass igloo?
Finland.
No.
It's an
And it was
igloo.
expensive too. So I was
Mm.
really looking for a roommate. Like, can
Mhm.
somebody go with me? And then I think I finally sat down and one day and I was like, nobody wants to go with me.
Oh.
I'm going. It's fine. I'm going because
Mhm.
I didn't want to go to the beach. We had the beach down the street. I wanted to go someplace that was unique. And then that was for me was the kickoff of unique experiences. So for me, it's not necessarily trendy travel, but unique travel will get me every time. So I don't know if that falls under trends, but
Mhm.
that's how I choose the experiences that I go to. And then to your point, we've traveled vastly. Low key, I'm at this point of spinning a globe and landing my finger, like coming to America, like this is where I'm going. Like,
Right.
is this, can I fly in here? Are they at war? Is
Mhm.
this peaceful land?
Right.
Like,
Is
is it
it
okay for
tension
me to
there? What's
go?
it?
We're
Mhm.
there. Where, how much it costs to get here?
Right.
Um, okay. That leads us into, you guys, mastering social media planning. Now, have I missed any comments, Tia, as we transition into the next part? I don't
No, just a couple more of people saying which cities or destinations that they think is overhyped. We had a couple Miami is overhyped. People are over Miami, let me tell you.
think of it.
But no, that was pretty much it on the comments on my side. Did you have any coming in?
No, the only had the earlier ones. People were excited about the conversation of your pictures and
That
going
was a good
to
one, Brand. You did that.
thank you. A little surprise, a little reel on the
Yeah.
reel. Ow, come on. All right, so we're going to be talking about mastering social media planning. Do you think social media is a reliable way to plan trips, or does it just set you up for disappointment? For me, 1000% is reliable, but you can be disappointed. What's your
Mhm.
take on that? What's your take
I
on
mean,
that? I
same
like
thing you said. I think that it goes into, and we'll talk about it, probably when we wrap up, but you just got to vet yourself. It can lead to disappointment if you don't vet yourself. Even if you do vet, everything is not going to be what you research. Like, until you get there to check it out, that's a part of travel. And I think that more people have to become flexible so that they can be happy with the choices that they make. Like, everything is not going to be exactly what a picture that was on booking.com in 20 shoot, it could have been January 2024. It's not going to be the same as December 2024, and you just have to move and roll on with the punches. So same thing you said.
that. So we're gonna kind of walk you through some of our pros and cons to just consider. What do you feel are pros in using social media to plan your travel? So Tia, you can start. You got two pros you want to share with the good people.
Yeah, so two of my pros are that you get real reviews and recommendations from real people. Like that's just it. That's all. Like I know if I look at Brandon's page that it's going to be a real review. Like I don't have to worry about is she doing this because a brand paid her or anything like that. And most of the people that I follow are the same way. I don't follow people who I feel like are always like, this is great, this is good because and it's branded. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing is just your access to hidden gems and like local experiences. So going to trendy places is cool, but I love when I see something that I haven't seen come across my timeline that I'm like, "Oh, I've never seen this before. This okay, hidden gem. Let me go try that out." That's
Mhm.
nice. I love that.
Book a flight
So what
now.
are your pros, Brian?
For me, my pros are quick inspiration and itineraries. One place
Mhm,
the that we talked about the key social media places, and I put key in air quotes because there are a ton of social media platforms. But we are currently broadcasting on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, right? So a lot of you can find very good quick inspiration and itineraries through there. Well, one place people sleep on is Pinterest. Pinterest is a
mhm.
great place to go for itineraries and travel inspiration. I go there for outfit inspiration. I go there for a lot of inspiration,
Everything.
okay? But everything is at Pinterest. But I have definitely clicked in there and you can go and people actually have their blogs attached to
Mhm,
Pinterest. They're travel blogs that maybe you wouldn't naturally find on a Google search engine or you can't necessarily find their Instagram page. But I have found new people to follow based off the itineraries they've posted over
mhm.
there. So it'll be like a 2 day, type in 2 day itinerary Paris or a 5 day itinerary Tanzania. Whatever you're going. So I think that is a good one. And then destination navigation. I love something that rhymes real quick. Destination navigation, like to our point, we oftentimes are finding these very unique and authentic experiences, but it's also
Mhm,
very important for us to find a content creator who also is talking about what did it take to get here? Because we
mhm.
recognize as pretty well seasoned travel, like we the seasoned saints over here in travel, that these places are a little a little tricky to get to sometimes, or not only is it tricky to get to, some people will show you a place and they be like, "Ooh, this is amazing," and then it'd be like $300 to get out there, and that's not even considering the cost of what it is to get there. Like, mind you, I told you it
What's
took us
that place
8
in
hours.
Saudi, Brand? That's just like that. A
Al
loop. That
Ula, Ula wasn't expensive to get. Well, we rented a car.
not to get to stay.
Oh yeah, it's not cheap.
That place is
We went on the.
expensive.
We went on the.
I'm
We
sorry. As
went
soon
on the.
as you said that, that made me think about that place. That's exactly what
I've
I
been
thought
to
of.
Al Ula,
Yes,
and
she has, which
I
gave me the social
remember
media FOMO.
I've been to Al Ula. It was very beautiful. And I remember my friend, handsome gent, he is on social media. Feel free to follow
Hey,
him. He's
boo.
great inspiration. Actually, he's the
Mhm.
reason I went to Georgia, which is the reason why Tia went to Georgia, which is why other people are now going to Georgia. So
The
social
social
media
media
effect
effect.
for real. But my homeboy, he was like, "Do you want to go on a quick trip to Saudi?" Okay, quick trip. How much it costs? It's relatively cheap. I even had to get on him. I was like, "Bro, this is not relatively cheap. Your cheap and my cheap look different." He was like, "You ain't think this was cheap?" Nah, my guy.
At
Nope.
all.
Didn't think
Not even
it
a little
was
bit.
at all. But I say that to say that I think it was cheap in comparison to what prices Tia is currently looking at, because we went during like Ramadan. I think that was when
Mm,
we went during
mhm.
Ramadan. So usually in countries who practice Islam, those are Islamic countries, Ramadan is a cheaper season to travel because
Mm,
of fasting and prayer and things of that
mhm.
nature. And so tourism is typically low, which is that's a golden gem if you're ever looking at Islamic countries and you want to travel. A lot of times it's
Considered a
much cheaper to
shoulder
travel.
season.
It's a
Mhm.
good shoulder season. So
Mhm.
yeah, those are my quick one. What are your cons with social media planning?
Um, my cons with social media planning is the overcrowding that you find and the loss of authenticity. So, um, I have found that in some places, like when I went to Vietnam, the number one, the train. train street where you go and the train is like coming at you and you're sitting down eating, there were so many people trying to get in that there were police there that were like, it's too many people on the street, you can't come in here. And I'm just like, well, dang, what? This is what I came here for. Well, as in Rihanna says, baby, this is what you came for. I came for this and I can't even. But I think knowing how to navigate travel also is helpful. So, like, I ended up getting a photographer to go get some shots in some places. He knew a time that I could go in a different part of Train Street that I could go to, which to your point about sharing certain things, that's probably not something that I've shared on social media posts because that's something that's very difficult to portray. Like, you can go to Train Street, but don't go at certain times, but then make sure that you're maneuvering in the right way. But then that goes again to the overcrowdedness. Like, it's overcrowded because people have been sharing it so much. There was actually a comment where somebody asked me if that was a hype or no situation. Absolutely hype. A train going at high velocity speeds while you sitting on the side of
High
the train
velocity.
sipping some tea, absolutely hype. It was a thrill. But to that point, because so many people hear how hype it is, they're overcrowding it. And then does it lose its authenticity? For some people, I think it would. For me, it was still great. But in certain places, like you were, I think that was Acropolis that you were outside of for your Greece picture, is it
Mhm.
losing that? You know, I think Bali had shut down for a little bit to tourists because they were so many people were coming overcrowding it. There are certain places that they tell you not to. I can't remember that one place where they have the flowers. It's like really pretty flowers, and you're not supposed to walk on it. But tourists were coming, acting like they can't read signs, walking on the things, like taking from the essence of it. So I think that that's definitely a con because people see it and they're like, well, they did it, so I can do it too. No, they weren't supposed to, and neither are you. So that's one of them. And then the other one for me is limited representation of like the actual real experiences from real people. So when people do post up things and like you, to your point, posting pictures and talking about a place that they never even went to, like how you feel okay about that? You sending somebody to somewhere with a fake representation of it. Like what are we doing here? So that is a con of social media. And can you really tell somebody if they win or not with them giving you their Wikipedia review? So that's the con. Those are the two cons for me. What you think?
Before I give my cons, I wanted to add this piece because it's not in our social media tips, and in the future, it's definitely something that needs to be a part of social media, my social media tips that I'll give out. But what
Hmm.
I heard you say was there's limitations in the type of social media content you're consuming. So it's very important to recognize what each platform can provide for you. There's only
Hmm.
but so much information you're going to get on Instagram from a post or Instagram reel.
Hmm.
TikTok has much longer videos, so people are doing a little bit more education.
Hmm.
But to your point, when I'm planning a trip, I might get my immediate inspiration from Instagram, but I'm finding myself on YouTube just to get, did somebody do like a vlog on this
Longer
to get the
form.
details
Hmm.
of, yeah, long form content versus short form content. That's a whole nother podcast and a whole nother topic. Just so we can explain that verbiage to you. You know, we are sensitive people about verbiage being just thrown out there. But short form content meaning like anything on Instagram where it's less than a minute you might be watching, or it's just a post like a picture post
Hmm.
with a caption, whether it's a lengthy caption or not. You're just typically not getting the full book,
Story.
the full story. So you're only getting
Hmm.
a highlight reel, REEL, not the REAL. And you need to sometimes go to other social media platforms in order to get the details, right? So I think that was a very important highlight that you added in there.
Yeah.
Um, my cons are lack of context, which kind of leads into what I just said. They just,
Hmm.
you don't, people give you the highlight, but they don't give you the real. And I also will say that I'm sometimes, not often, but I'm sometimes guilty of that. I show you what it is that I'm doing, but I may not give you all the details. I am working
Hmm.
towards, and T I think it's too, but we're working towards building our YouTube channels where that long form content is going to provide more
Hmm.
information. So just give us a little grace and a little time. She giving you grace, so you can give us some grace. Give us grace and a little bit of time. But it's coming. So I recognize that. But in the social media that I choose, it's just you don't always get the full Monty of it all.
Yeah.
And then my other con is the actual cost. Um, So to your point about Alula or any other place, what I find expensive and what you may find expensive and what somebody else that's following or listening to us finds expensive is completely different. And
Listen.
then sometimes what we find to be cheap, other people are not. Are like, that's like, okay, yeah, that's, I can't stay that cheap. Like, examples, that glass igloo I stayed in. I told y'all I was looking for a partner. Okay. Because the glass igloo was running $700 a night.
Mm-hmm.
700 a night. And I
A
know some of
night.
y'all are judging me across the we listen and we don't judge, okay? It
Not
was
judging.
$700 a night. I was going for the experience, and I felt like I'll do it once. I can stay. If I can get one night, 2 nights. I was looking for a partner. Somebody ended up going with me. Okay, don't be counting my pockets.
Let me borrow some coins, Brian. Let me borrow something.
And then let me give you a little business tip. So since I joined the travel agent business, somebody actually
Girl,
contacted me recently about doing a glass igloo based off things they saw from when I went years ago. And I
go
said,
off.
well, let me see if my business can reach out to this business and see if there's a commission involved. And
B2B
is
is
and is we'll be
is.
back, not for $700 a night, because why? I got the plug, okay, and the plug knows me and I know the plug, and we
And
gonna
you may
plug
travel
in
your
together.
business, boo. Period.
Honey, it'll be never unpacked, okay? And it might be a never unpacked by Tia Tay the World. We've been talking, we've been in cahoots. You don't
Listen, every
know,
time you
you
keep
don't
on
know
talking
what
about
we
that
about in
glass igloo, I'm
2025.
like,
We might need to go
when we
live
going?
at a glass igloo in 2025. Who
Period.
got us on? Okay, anyway, but I was saying that, and then I've stayed in very cheap places. Like I'm a flexible traveler. I've stayed in a place, the cheapest place I've stayed in was like $3
Mm.
a night.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pod, and it was giving casket teas. It was Morticia Adams, honey. It was giving a little it was giving casket vibes, but honey, it was decent sleep for what I needed. Did she cross? It was $3. Y'all, we
Oh,
listen and we
Lord
don't judge.
Jesus.
I got good sleep in there. I had air. That was
And it
my
was
main concern.
experience. It was
It was.
experience.
It was
So, I
giving
mean,
not Hunger Games, not Suicide. What's the other one? The other movie where it was the series. It was like in Chinese Korea. Let me take that back. I take that back from the ethos.
uh, what is
Suicide Games. No, I'm just
that ain't
calling out
it.
stuff.
Y'all
Y'all
know
know
what
what
we
I'm.
talking about. What is the
Y'all knew
darn
what we talking
thing? You gonna
about. I
make
feel
me
like
die.
we
I
on.
got to go look it up.
Y'all know what
Anyway,
we
but
talking.
$3 a night. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad.
Yeah. So I be feeling like actual cost when you're looking at things can be a con. Like
Mm-hmm.
people will post a beautiful villa and then be careful with these people who are branded deals and they get extreme discounts or a nice discount. Or some of these influencers ain't really making no money, which is why the travel business is businessing. Okay. You might get better rates if you were actually a travel advisor. We'll leave that out there.
And a travel advisor don't have to be to other people. It can be for yourself. But like she
Fact.
said, we gonna leave that there.
We're gonna leave that there because that's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. Because some of these brand
Mhm.
influencers thinking they doing it big and they just got a little percentage off, but it ain't the same.
If
It's
any.
we gonna say that for the new year. Okay. All right. So 3 tips in social media planning. We recommend that you dig deeper and you do the research. Remember, we
Absolutely.
said something about this earlier. We
Mm.
both are travel advisors. We both are travelers. We do our research. Even if somebody else is booking your trip, you should still do research. Whether they're booking it as a friend or you're paying them to book it, you should still do research. It is your job as a traveler to make sure you understand what you're walking into. You guys, I did a whole trip for Bali that was, the packet was thick. This is with my friends. The packet was thick, and I love each of these ladies. But they were shocked about some of the things we were experiencing because they didn't necessarily, not all of them, but some of them didn't necessarily do the research. And they
Mm-hmm.
were experiencing things that they would have normally not have necessarily done. That's no tea, no shade to my friends that's tuning in. It's just the reality of the situation that, hey, I trust what you're doing, but the reality is I built something that I was very interested in doing. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're tagging along to a trip or you see Tia put up these beautiful pictures and you don't know how Tia got there and you didn't ask, or you know what I mean? You got to do the research. You got something to
You
chime in
have
on that
to.
with?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You have to do some research for yourself. Even as a travel professional, as Brand said, we are out here building up trips for people. We are putting things together. But at the end of the day, I just sent the proposal to somebody that was 30 pages long. Honestly, this is one of my standard proposals because this is what I do. I am giving you highlights of your destination, weather information at the time that you're going, currency information, transportation information. But still, in that 30-page document, I cannot give you everything that you need to know about going on this trip. I can guide you, I can give you some, small information and things. But that means if you are traveling to Timbuktu and you get there, and outside of that 30-page document and the emails that I've sent you and all of the communications that we've had, you get there and you find that men on the street stare at you because you are a beautiful whomever. You cannot then hit me up and say, I didn't know that this was going to happen. Uh, did you expect, was I supposed to tell you? Now, in some situations that, I can give the information, I can, but at the end of the day, as an influencer, as a travel professional, as a person, I can only give you so much. It is your job, because you are the one that is traveling to these places, to fill in some of the gaps. I don't suggest that you trust is not the word. I don't suggest that you give anyone a full rope when you are going off on trips somewhere, whether it be down the street, up the street, across the waters. You should do some research yourself. If you pay me as a travel professional, like Braylon said, your friend, whatever, to put together something for you, I'm absolutely going to give you everything that you need. But also, grace needs to come in and research needs to come in, because you need to kind of fill in the gaps and understand that even with your research, you cannot account for everything. That travel is like life. Happens. Okay? Things are going to
And
happen
it's ever changing. It's ever
all the
changing. So
time.
even if I give you information, what you think is the full understanding of whatever you're doing, and I give that to you in
Mhm.
October, your trip ain't till March of next year. There's so many things politically that can happen in that area, so many things weather-wise that can happen in that area, so many things naturally that can happen. And when I say naturally, like natural disasters, because those things happen, you guys, or just you need to do the research.
Yeah.
It's your job to make sure that it is your trip is the experience you expect it to be. Ooh,
But
I'll
even
say that
understanding
again.
in that brand, even understanding that expect the unexpected sometimes. I
Facts.
think that
Because life be life.
those people who understand that and who put flexibility at their core when they're traveling, then you'll enjoy your trip so much more if you're flexible than if you're like, I'm landing on Monday at 11 a.m. Nothing is going to change that. This is what the weather is going to be 84 degrees. My driver is going to be on time. When I get to the hotel, it's going to be this, and that. Baby, if you moving like that in travel, you are going to be disappointed. Take heed from expert travelers. Flexibility is key. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's
1000%.
all.
That's it. That's all. Next tip out of the three is set boundaries. Plan a trip
Mhm.
that aligns with your interests. It's cool to hop on a trip with people like us. Know that we travel different. We move different. And it's okay that you don't do everything with us too, okay?
Mhm.
When you do come on trips with us.
Mhm.
However, when you are planning your own trips, make sure you set your own personal boundaries. Make sure you understand it. And it's great to explore, right? It's great to try something new, maybe something outside of your comfort zone. But make to that point, have your expectations to be in a realistic bracket. But other than
Mhm.
that, make sure you set some boundaries. You got thoughts on that? You want to add to takeaway? You said, that's it. That's all on that.
Nail hit on the head.
Okay, but gotta find a sound effect for that. And then the last one is look beyond the image, you guys. What is required to be successful on your trip?
Mhm.
What's needed? What needs to happen for you to feel like your trip was successful? And some
Mm.
of that is from your travel advisor, like from us. You need certain things from them, but some of it's from you. Some of it is from the people you're traveling with. You need to, like, just like anything else in life, we're setting goals and we are accomplishing them and we're ticking them off, right? So look beyond the image. So dig deeper, set boundaries, and look beyond the image. Now, we're getting ready to move towards the closing of our show. This was really cool. This episode, we really talked about the dream that we're selling, because we were part of the
Mhm.
day we said the dream they're selling, but we're the dream that's being sold. The rise of FOMO travel. We had a great time going down memory lane with Tia Cooper, you guys. So those of you catching the
Thank you,
recap, we
Brian.
can't we can't wait to hear what you got to say in the comments about are these places hype or not, if you've been to them or your thoughts on them. The gatekeeping effect, we said we talk too much to gatekeep, but we are interested in a variety of different travels. So we'll be down for certain trends, and it just kind of feels, what is our mood? Sometimes I wake up like, what mood am I feeling in March, and where do I want to
Mm.
go?
Yep.
And then making sure you're utilizing and mastering social media planning. Use social media to your benefit, not to your detriment. Make sure
Mm.
you're utilizing variety of different platforms. And then we're going to go into, let's go into celebrations.
Let's do
I,
it. Let's do it. Do it. All right, so
uh,
I can start off with the celebrations for the week. Y'all, we love to add this piece into our episodes because sometimes you need a little pat on the back. You need to celebrate yourself. Someone had posted, I had reposted something from one of my social media cousins that had put up basically that you need to big yourself up. And I saw that somebody put in the comments and they were like, well, sometimes it feels like bragging. And so what? And I say that, sometimes it's easier to give advice than it is to take it, but I am that same way. I, for a very long time, didn't like to celebrate me because it felt, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm bragging. But so we do good things and we need to be bragged on, and we need to brag on ourselves and other people. So we use this opportunity to do it, and we want you to celebrate yourself as well. So down in the comments, put your celebration for the week, no matter how small you think it is, how big it is, no matter if you think it's bragging, celebrate yourself. So I'll go ahead and start off. I want to highlight one of my business partners who is on my team. She actually started this business. I just planned a trip for her birthday. In August, she went to Thailand. It was a group trip with her and her friends. They had a great time. I loved putting it together for them. Everybody was so cool. It was such an amazing experience for them. I love seeing their pictures. And then she came on my group trip to Dubai in October. Then she was like, girl, I want you to put together my next group trip in August to Japan. And I was like, girl, I would love to put together your group trip, but why you just don't put it together and make some money off of it? Why not take people with you and then get a coin for your birthday? Like, you could easily put this together. I'll walk you through the steps. And she was like, why would you do that? Why would you why would you give up some business that I'm about to bring you just to teach it to me? Baby, because I don't gatekeep. You want to learn this information or not? So she started her travel business and has really been going hard trying to put this trip together. And we finally had a meeting because anybody that is on my, with me, a business partner with me or Brandlin, we do unlimited one-on-one coaching. Like, we show you how to be successful in the business. We got on a call the other day and I walked her through some things so that she could book the people properly. We went through some things and she finally sent out her link for her trip. Japan 2025 birthday trip is going down. So my girl is going to be traveling to Japan, celebrating her birthday. And when she comes home, she's getting a check. And I love that for her. So shout out
I
to you,
love
homegirl. I love that for you. I'm so proud of you. And you're going to keep on working and being better and better in this business and putting on trips for yourself and other people. So congratulations to you.
Congratulations. Come on, team member. I love
Yeah,
it.
what
Yes,
you got,
business
Brand?
partners.
Yes,
I
girl.
love
We
it.
out here doing it.
So my celebration,
Mhm.
you guys, as you all know, are those, maybe you don't know because you're just now joining or you're just now finding us in the little space of social media out here. I am writing a children's book. It is about travel. I have been developing
Woo-woo.
it. It has been a very exciting experience. I literally wrote the book and then I had to contract an illustrator. And we just finished our first milestone. Now, I had a very ambitious deadline when we first started. I had wanted it done by a particular date. But I slowed down because I really wanted to make sure I got the details right, because your girl is trying to be a New York Times bestseller and y'all gonna help me get there. And so I need to make sure that the product is producting.
Speak it, boo.
Okay. It needs to be what it's gonna be. And so I'm super excited to say we just finished our first milestone. So in the realm of building a book, pretty much what you do is you section things off by pages, right? So maybe we'll work on 6, 8, maybe work on 8 to 10 pages at a time. And
Mhm.
so the first set of pages in the book are done. I have a little girl who is traveling A grandmother would be involved, and I have just been so elated to
Aw.
see my thoughts that nobody can hear come to life on a page. I can't even tell you, like, how amazing that feels.
Oh,
Um, so we
Brian.
just finished the first milestone. I just funded the second milestone. There's four, so we're halfway through, and I'm a low
Yeah.
key birthday present to myself because that's when you investing in yourself. It's coming back tenfold when you put it out there. You build it, they will come.
100-fold.
I can't I can't wait for you guys to see it. Top of the year, I want to start sharing with you guys some of the development of the character and her story, and I am excited.
Congratulations!
Thank
Where's the
you.
sound effects? Bum, bum, bum,
Dun, dun, dun,
bum.
dun. Travis. Oh my gosh, we were supposed to
Yeah.
get sound effects.
Season 2, season
um,
2, we coming with the sound effects.
season two, and that's a perfect segue to our last celebration before I hand it over to Tia to kick us off with the closeout of our show. You guys, this is the end of season one. We brought the Takeoff back. It has been 10
Hey.
great episodes. Y'all were with us. We are a little older than the last time the Takeoff took off. Technology is a
Thank
little
God.
different. Social media is a little different from when we took off the last time with the Takeoff.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
thank y'all for giving us that grace at the beginning and letting us be in our auntie soft eras of life when we're trying to figure out the technology and the tools that make it pop. I
Mhm.
love sitting on this side of the camera with my Aggie sister, my
Hey.
expat sister. We've seen life in the desert. We've seen life in North Carolina. We are graduates and products of the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. And so
Aggie,
to do
right?
this with somebody who was a complete stranger at one point in time, and now I really consider family, you guys, is a celebration in its own self. But episode 10, Tia, how are you feeling as we close out season two?
My
I mean, season
cheeks
one.
hurt. My cheeks hurt so bad from smiling, but I'm so happy about it. Y'all, thank y'all for sticking with us. Brand, you know I've been talking about bringing the Takeoff back, and Brand was like, "Mm." But everything happens in God's timing. And I think that this is a great time for us to bring it back. It's more revitalized. We are revitalized. We're in different places in our lives to where we're able to give y'all more value. We are both winning. Literally, every time I talk to my girl, it's a win. Like we are both leveling up and we're able to share that value with y'all. And y'all don't understand. Gatekeeping is not what we do. So this having this platform and being able to share all this information, all this love, all these celebrations with y'all this is a passion project that we have. So I'm so happy that y'all have been tuning in. Today's show obviously is longer than normal, but that's because we are just number one, we wrapping it up for season one. Number two, we had so much value for y'all. Y'all were in the comments, talking, chatting it up. We thank y'all for that so much. And y'all, season two, we coming back even better. Can you believe it? Because we great right now. We doing good. But we coming back for season two even better than we have been this season. But we just want to thank y'all for tuning in with us. Braylon, thank you for saying yes to doing this again. It's been amazing. I love you, girl. I love to take off. I'm so excited.
Go ahead,
Such
take
good
it on.
stuff.
Go ahead, close us on out. You got it.
All right, I'll keep it going, y'all. So, as y'all know, we're both on social media. First of all, make sure that y'all follow us on all social media platforms. We are streaming on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lambs, ma'am, hog, all of the things. Chicken, turkey, you name it. We're everywhere. So make sure that y'all are following. If you're following me, you need to be following B. If you're following B, you need to be following T. I'm about to bust out with a rap, y'all. Y'all better stop it with me right now. Follow us on social media, every platform. And when you follow us, leave a comment. All right. Engage with us, socialize. Y'all be texting y'all's friends, talking junk in the chats. Don't talk no junk. Just say something nice, be sweet, and comment on our social media platforms. We would love to chat back. The next thing that I want to talk about is the travel business. All right. We've been talking about the social media effect of travel. We've talked about where you want to go, places that are on your travel bucket list, whether it came from social media or it came from your heart, whatever it is. How are you getting there? How are you booking that travel? How are you making it happen? Are you going through third party apps? Because if so, do you know that they're making money off of the work that you're doing? I never met anybody that wanted to go to work and not get paid for it. But if that's what you want to do, that's cool. If not, then you should holler at us about starting a travel business. It's really simple. Me and Brandon have been traveling for quite some time. And before we were using those third-party apps as well. But then we got hip to game. We found out that we could start making a check off of our work. So if you want more information about it, you can go to travelagentworkshop.com and put in sponsor code Never Unpack or Take the World Travel, not Take the World out, just Take the World. As you can see, scrolling across the screen, I get excited talking about it. But the other part of it is, as I was just celebrating one of my team members, and Brandon has celebrated hers throughout the season, you get us. All right, y'all see how long we like to talk, how much information we like to give, how we don't like to gatekeep. All right, if you start a travel business as one of our business partners, you get access to us one-on-one information. Like, we want to see you win. It's no gatekeeping around here. You winning doesn't hold anything back from us. So if you want that experience, if you want to start making money off of your travels or other people's travels, if you want to learn how to be successful as a travel business owner, hit us up. We would love to share with you. Also, whether you are tuning in live or on the replay, gang, make sure that you're commenting where you're tuning in from. Engage with us. Answer some of the questions as the episode went along. Let us know what's overhyped. What's the overhyped destination for you? We want to know. If y'all say Miami, I mean, join the gang at this point. But there's no tuning in next week because this is the end of season 1 of the revamped Takeoff. But we will be back in January. So do not fret too long. Don't be sad over the holidays. Make sure that you go back and check out all of our replays in case you haven't seen them. I know you haven't because I seen the numbers on our YouTubes. Make sure you go back and run them up over the holidays. Catch up so that you're not behind for season 2. That was a lot, and my cheeks still hurt, y'all, from smiling so much. But we're gonna close it out with our affirmation of the day. Berlin, take us home, girl.
So our affirmation leading into this beautiful holiday break: my journey is mine and it is beautiful.
My
My
journey is
journey is mine.
mine, and it is beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that one on the mirror somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
Normally you can catch us live every Friday. We'll be back January 24th after a good holiday break. We look forward to
Mhm.
talking about some plans for what the takeoff looks like in 2025. Thank you guys
Thank y'all
for
so much.
being you and following us and supporting us. The love in the comments, the likes, the replays that we're seeing coming in. Thank you for your support. And that's all we got.
Happy
Peace.
holidays, y'all. Happy Friday. We'll see y'all January 24th. Mwah, 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 mwah. Make sure that you take off. Peace.